Hello and welcome back to the Modern Mompreneur podcast. I am your host, Day Smith. I'm Modern Mompreneur myself. So welcome to the podcast where we talk all things how we manage this life as a mompreneur while running a business and raising a family and doing it with style and grace. I am the owner of Simplicity by Day, as you guys know. And so I live that life. And so I'm right there with you, girl, trying to make all the things happen and make sure we're staying present for the things that matter. And today I have a fellow mompreneur, a lot of parallels with this guest. Okay. She is a business owner. She is a corporate professional. She's also a mom as well. Someone I truly admire in the organizing industry, y'all. So we have a lot in common. I'm going to give you Ashley Hines' official bio. But first, I want to just welcome her to the show. Welcome, Ashley, to the Modern Mompreneur podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Day.
Yes, yes. So Ashley Hines is the CEO of The Tailored Life. She believes that everyone deserves a life tailored to their well-being. With this vision in mind, she founded The Tailored Life in December of 2020 amidst the challenges of a pandemic, y'all. She realized that living in an organized life is a form of self-care, ain't it though? That significantly impacts mental health and your overall well-being. She guides clients to live in a life of peace and order and intention that fosters optimal well-being through holistic home organizing. Her work has been featured in Apartment Therapy, The Spruce, Good Housekeeping, Real Simple, The New York Times, Wirecutter, and Buy Side by the Wall Street Journal. So she got receipts to show she knows what she's talking about. Ashley was chosen as the brand ambassador for the Container Store. I know that's a fave of mine for this year, which is a huge honor, and the creator for the Lowe's Partner Program in 2023. So she's very involved in the community for the American Family Insurance Free to Dream initiative. And she also serves as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Market Lead for the Wisconsin for Advocates of Health with Aurora Healthcare, which is the third largest nonprofit integrated system within the U.S. So she does her DEI work as well. As a corporate exec, okay, and a business owner and a community leader, she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to her work. And she's been married to her wonderful husband, Brandon, for 12 years and has two children, an 8-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. When I tell you there's parallels, I'm just it's
I know.
crazy. Okay.
Even our
All the
kiddos,
way.
right? The age of
Even
our
our
kids are close.
kiddos. Yes. So welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you about all of the things and how you have managed to be so successful in both avenues of your life. So let's dive right into it. So you tell us how you got into this world of organizing.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me, Day. So I've been organized. I'm one of those people who was organizing as a kid, and parents will tell you that. But it was actually the Marie Kondo show, and I know I'm not the only organizer. So the
Mm,
tidying up by Marie Kondo, I was at home watching that, and it just presented it as a professional opportunity, if that makes sense. I'm like, oh, this is something I
yeah.
can do. And so that's really how I got introduced to the concept. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had actually been organizing for some family and friends, so it was aligned timing. But how I launched, I really give my sister credit because she pretty much forced me to launch. My younger
Oh,
sister,
wow.
but I have like a younger sister who's older. Like she's just so
Yeah.
mature. She's an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, mompreneur herself. Um, she pretty much told me like, you need to start, just do it. So that's honestly how I pushed because I think I would have gotten stuck. I would have gotten
Yeah.
stuck and just talked myself out of it. So
Yeah, yeah. So Marie Kondo, I did watch her show Tidying Up, and I was already an organizer, but I feel like her show and the show, the Home Edit show, really just did so much for our industry because people were
mhm.
like, I need this. Who can help me with this? And they saw the transformation of having someone come into your life. And as you say, bring order and peace. You know, it's not just buying containers and throwing them in the corner and stuffing some things in there. You really are helping people to have that mental clutter elevated, right? And being able to see the space clean and what that does for you on an emotional and even a spiritual level as well. So I like that Marie. I'm gonna try to get Marie on the show. I'm like, Marie, do you
Mm,
know you
I
have these are your people here?
super impactful. And I would also say for me, even though I was organized, I wasn't intentional about the items I had. So I was organizing a lot of clutter. I was like, I had more
Mm,
than I needed. So for me, that was also a introduction to really being thoughtful and
okay.
minimalistic in my approach. So if that makes sense as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you got into the business, and so are you helping people physically organize? Like, what are your favorite types of jobs to do, and how do clients know that they need you? I should say.
Yeah, such a good question. I do. I absolutely go in person in home with my clients. Um, we'll get to all of the different hats I wear. So I'm not full time, so I'm not providing services every day in person. But I am in person. I would say my favorite spaces are kitchens and pantries. Here's why I tell my clients it's the one space everyone is going to touch, even people who are visitors to your home, who are guests to your home, they're gonna land in your kitchen in some way.
Hmm.
It's just the way it goes. So I think you feel the impact of being intentional in that space pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And so I think it's just a good starter space. And then next to that, I love a good closet because I know that is also a space that just has a big impact on our efficiency and how our days
yeah,
go and all of that. So those would be
yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite. How my clients know they need me. Um, I would say most of my clients come to me and they're overwhelmed. They are. They're like, I'm overwhelmed. I've maybe tried it before. So I can't say I've worked with too many folks who haven't tried to get organized, you know? So
Okay.
they've tried it before. They've bought the bins, like you said. They went to the container store, they went to whatever, and they're like, it's not working still, right? And so it's really, I believe people who come to me are looking for a transformation, are looking to maintain that lifestyle, not just kind of
Hmm.
have a pretty picture. I love a pretty picture, but not just have a pretty picture, right? They really
Yeah.
want to feel that impact on their lives.
Yeah, yeah. That's good that they, have at least tried it because whether or not they tried it on their own or they hired someone, I'm sure that they see the value in it and they're just waiting for you to like come in and work your magic because they don't have the time or the know-how. And just same way you go to get your hair done or you go to the doctor or you
Hmm.
hire someone to maintain your lawn. Like we're the expert in creating order, and so you bring that person in and it's definitely a value add. I love that you
Absolutely.
say that it's a form of self-care, you know.
Hmm.
Tell me more about how you communicate that and why you feel that that's the case.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, especially over the last year and a half, I had a really great coach last summer. You know her, I'm sure, Shira Gill. She's amazing. And I went through her coaching program. And
Hmm.
throughout that time, I was really reaching to get brand clarity and really connecting with my niche, what I felt like was my pull to this industry. So it was where I became really honest about why I do this. And I had to
Hmm.
unpack for myself December 2020. I know if you can go all the way back to that time, I was really stressed. Like that was a very difficult year. I know for many of us, as someone who was still trying to maintain, a corporate role with the switch up, and I'm in healthcare, right? So I'm in healthcare during the pandemic, trying to do rapid response to vulnerable communities. It was an intense year. I was working
Hmm.
every day. And of course, having two small children at home, and then layer on some other personal things. And I actually was just like burnt out day. So I took a
Yeah.
leave as soon
Mm.
as I could. I took a formal leave of absence from my job. And it was just one of those really pivotal moments for me. And I realized how therapeutic organizing was for me during that time, because I think prior to that, I had done it, but I hadn't really been as present and mindful about what it was bringing to me, if that made sense
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
that was the moment for me where I'm like, whoa, this is how I'm caring for myself and caring for my
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I'm actually caring for myself too.
Yeah, love that. Love that. I definitely think that it is a form of self-care. I love that you called it out because a lot of times we think of, therapy as just talking to someone, but sometimes, just it could be just therapeutic just to take time by yourself and like clear out clutter.
Hmm.
And you actually are able to, if you're doing physical organizing or digital, see the result, right? Like you can see the change and
Absolutely.
then take time to say, how does that make you feel? But yes, 2020 was definitely a year of a lot of changes and a lot of stress, especially I'm thinking because of your kids' age, that my kids were the same
Mm-hmm.
age. It was stressful. It was like, what is
Yeah,
going on
teaching
in the
out of nowhere.
world?
I'm like, I'm not a
Oh
teacher.
yeah,
Like,
that these children would have failed kindergarten under my watch because I was not born for that type of work. So yes, I get it. So since then, you've really just blossomed. You know, you've had a lot of media presence. You're now ambassador. You're doing DEI work. What has um, encouraged you to put your hands in all these different places? Like, where is that coming from, and why do you do? Why did you find the? How did you find the time to do those things?
yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say that I'm a woman of faith. I know you are as well. And so much of my life is around just releasing my own will, right? And just
Mm,
really feeling like uh, I'm just ready. I'm just ready for whatever God is um, wanting me to do. Because I'll be honest with you, I still don't have a business plan. Like people think I do. They think I have this whole big strategy and plan.
the organ
I just
doesn't
really,
have it. I'm just joking.
right?
That's your price.
I got a plan to do a business plan, right? But I'll be transparent with you that none of this is actually on paper for me. So this is me just truly feeling led and making sure that I'm congruent with the opportunities, making sure I feel aligned with
Hmm.
the things that are coming to me. But I have not sought any of the things today. So when I'm telling you
Mm,
it's God, I know it's God because I don't even know how to seek, you know, these article features. I don't even know. I don't even know how to reach out to these people. They find me.
yeah,
So I'm like,
they
you know,
find
it's
you.
definitely God. Um, and so that's, I need to say that at the foundation. Um, and then just as far as those lanes, I mean, I'm just about I really want to leave when I leave here. And even while I'm here, I want to just make sure I'm giving everything I feel led to give to the world. And
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't make sense because you haven't seen other people do it. Sometimes you can't even articulate it.
Hmm.
Because like I said, it took me a while to unpack, you know, my brand and what I wanted to put out into the world. Um, but when you get to that point, you feel it, right? You're like, oh, that feels right. It's like putting
Yeah,
a block in the right, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that feels right.
yeah, it fits. It
So
just fits.
it just fits. That's my journey. My
Yeah,
journey is to continue to be honest with myself, um, to have boundaries, to be communicative and honest about, you know, what I feel.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I
not
love
like a
that.
strategic response, but
No, no, no. But
yes.
it's a real response, and I think it's needed because a lot of times, if you, especially if you're a Type A type of person like me, you want to have all the
Like me too.
plans laid out, like the all the things before you take a step, and that is
Yeah.
just not the way entrepreneurship works. You know,
Mm-mm.
entrepreneurship is a movement of unknown a lot of time, unless you have a parent or someone really taking you, but even still your experience is going to be new and fresh and
Mm-hmm.
unknown, and you a lot of times you do it scared because you don't have all the answers, but you find, because you're a testament to it and so am I, that if you're moving in the right path, doors will be open, people will be brought to you, opportunities will be created. Um, you will have clarity about, you'll have an idea downloaded from your creator, like, oh, let me
Mm-hmm.
do this. Or you'll see something, let me do this, let me write this book, let me start this podcast, let me join this group, let me talk about DEI, you know. And you're right, you have so we all have so much to give, and why not explore that to see what is within you to share? And you're creating a legacy. You're showing people that it's possible to have a family, to have a career, and to start a business. Not to say that that works for everyone or everyone will have those things
Mm-hmm.
going on. Kids will continue to grow. The job may or may not be there. The business may, like you say, you took a sabbatical. Maybe that happens. But you're still moving in the way and doing things you feel that are aligned to who you are. And for any mompreneur listening, that's all it takes. She don't even have a business plan. I didn't even have a business plan when I
Very
started.
true.
And look at all that she's achieved. So don't let those small things hold you back. If you need it, make it, but don't let it hold you back from getting out there and doing it. Right. So
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
love that day. And if I
Good.
could add, I think we owe it to ourselves and I think we owe it to the world. Like I just think that there's something so unique in all of us. And if we don't live it out, we're actually not, to me, we're not doing why we're here. Like, we're here for each
Mm-hmm.
other. You know what I mean? Like, there's your
Yeah.
gifts, your talents, your skills are here to bless the world. So that's just my deep feeling.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I heard one of my mentors said it's actually selfish. It's
Mm,
selfish when you hold back that gift inside of you. So yes, I think we preach to
wow.
the people enough. You heard it. Whatever you got going on, girl, boy, do it. Okay.
Just do it.
This 2024 is the year to do it. Just do it. Well, wait, do it now, December 1st. Don't you don't have to wait for the new year. You can start today.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
So let's shift gears to talk about balancing, or I don't want to say harmonizing motherhood and being present.
Hmm.
So first and foremost, you have a husband, you have two children. What has been some aha moments for you or your journey with building a business and raising a family?
Yeah, absolutely. I was so grateful, Day, and I know as a business owner, you will get this. I had what I would consider my most challenging client in my first 6 months. Um, and I am grateful to that client. So, as an aha moment, one of the things that I've learned because I changed so much about my business after that was the power in saying no. Even as a business owner, I think sometimes you go into a business and you want clients, right? And I know I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
really speaking to the choir with this, but like, you realize not every client is actually my client. And that, again, just in this realm of, if I'm going to be showing up fully, I have to be in an environment that I feel like I can do that, right? So there's some people I'm just not going to vibe with. And saying no, I would say, was a big aha moment for me, that I would actually decline clients. I
Mm,
didn't think that would happen, you know, um, that not every project will be a project I would want to do. And I would have to be
yeah,
okay with that and find the language, and the power to do that. Um,
yeah.
and I think for me, why that connects to my family, because kind of the way you frame the question, is that anytime I leave my home, and for me, that is leave my home mentally, because I'm on a virtual thing or doing something for my business, or physically, I want to make sure that I'm bringing back more than what I had. And sometimes that is financial. That is important to me. I know that's also important to you, but I want to build my family's legacy,
Yep.
in our economic life, right? But then also, I don't want to come back depleted. I don't. I
Mm,
actually want the things that I do outside of my home. Again, I'm virtual as far as my work and things, but I don't want to give my family less of me with the things that, if that
mm.
makes sense.
That part. Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
They should get the best of you. So that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Like when you're choosing a career or a business, you want to make sure it's something that is fulfilling you enough to even after
Yeah.
you do it, you feel better. I mean, of course, it could be hard. Like you could really rack your brain trying to
Yeah.
build a website or do someone's complicated hairstyle or really decluttering something heavy. But I don't know about you, but once I had a client, I don't do physical organizing a lot, but I take on certain projects, and I took this project on, and I don't know if it was just my intention with her, or she was an
Hmm.
amazing client that when I finished, I did feel it fulfilled me that she got what she wanted. I was like, man, I'm so glad we achieved this goal. I helped her with this goal. She deserves it. Like those are the type of feelings I feel like you should have. If, like you
Hmm.
said, if you're gonna be leaving your house and going away from your family and spending time doing these things, at least let it be something that's gonna fulfill you. That life is too
I
short to
agree.
be doing these things that are gonna bring you home depleted and in a bad mood. Like just stop it.
And
Just
especially,
stop
Day, I
it.
know you can get this. We're in service industries. I know we're for profit, but what I'm saying is we're in industries that serve people. And
Yes.
I think it's antithetical to, in serving someone else, to be dishonest and compromise your own needs. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
don't think that's congruent.
put a
So,
pin in that one. Whoop. Serving somebody. Yeah, we're in the service industry. We're service providers, physical service
hmm.
providers. And even if you're brick and mortar, you're serving people. You go on with that attitude, and as you can see, you will be favored and blessed like Ashley is. Opportunities. The fact that she can run a whole business working and having kids, that's like superwoman powers right there. I don't know. You can say what you want, but that's what I believe. So, yes. So, tell us about your family dynamic. Are your children involved in the business? How does your spouse support you? What does your village look like to be able to do what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned my sister, so I give her
Yes.
credit for pushing me, but also she's probably my number one business coach. She's been doing this for a while, even though she's my younger
Wow.
sister. So I get a lot of wisdom and guidance from her. She's my person I can do the gut check with and even just get the verbiage and empowerment to have some difficult conversations and uphold my
Hmm.
boundaries, right? My husband, oh my gosh, yes, none of this would happen without him. I'm so grateful to have someone who believes in me and all the big ideas that I have, and not just in speech he believes in me, but how he shows up. I'm so grateful that our home and our structure of our family looks different than many others in our lives. It does, and I
Hmm.
know it looks
Hmm.
different than some of the traditional models of what it means when you're in a wife, husband, kids type of household.
Hmm.
Um, but he is so down for what for whatever he
Yes.
needs to be, and then vice versa, right? Like I am willing to do all of the things. My husband is also, he's a minister, by the way. My husband's a minister, a pastor,
Hmm.
so his lifestyle is very flexible, and we're that for each other. And
Yeah.
then our kids are young, but I will say that my daughter is actually the one most interested. She gets a lot
Mm.
of excitement when I'm preparing for projects. She wants to go with me physically. So I know if I'm still
Yes.
doing this when she's of age, she will definitely be a mini employee. Um,
Yes.
and and I don't think my son is as interested in the organizing, but he is old enough to articulate um, his respect for me, which is cool. Like my son's almost 9,
That
so he
is
can.
that is cool.
Yeah, it
Yes.
feels
Yes.
good. you know, so
Yes.
yeah.
That's always cool. And I talk about the family dynamic because, depending on the guests or people that I run into in real life, we talk about the blessing it is to have a spouse or a partner who supports
Hmm.
you. And if you don't have that, the burden it is to try to convince them or, power through because they're with you when no one else is there. You have your sister, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just have your partner who sees the work you put in or don't put in or whatnot. And so being able to have that, man, that I think that'll make or break you. Like honestly, like if your spouse is on board, that's a blessing. And if they are giving you pushback or you feel like you gotta maneuver through this and by yourself, that's some hard work right there. I think that's one of the biggest challenges of entrepreneurship is that spousal support. If I'm being honest.
I honestly couldn't imagine it. I couldn't agree with you more. I will
Hmm.
say so, and then of course my extended, like my parents and all of that, just my whole ecosystem
I bet
of
they're so
support with my
proud. I
friends.
know they're so proud of you.
They are, and they're an amazing support. I will say this too. It was challenging in the beginning because my daughter, for example, she's 4, so she pretty much grew up in the pandemic, and so I've been at home, right? Like I've been
Hmm.
working from home since she was born, really, and she would cry sometimes. Day, I don't know if you've experienced that, but she would cry sometimes when I was leaving, um, or like early in my business when I just didn't know what I'll say this frankly, I didn't know what my priorities were exactly. I
Hmm.
was working a
Hmm.
lot. I was just
Hmm.
working, working, working. I would do trips to Chicago, which is about an hour and a half away, but meant I was coming home late or spending the night.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was intense. And I had to recalibrate. I did because I realized I'm like, I need more harmony here. I can't have her
Yeah.
bawling her eyes out again. I'm going to
Yeah.
service other people, you know?
Yes.
So,
Ooh. No, it's funny because I literally had, and I had a thought. This ain't even present, but I had to do a work conference where I was speaking, and it was in Dallas, and so I brought my daughter with me because
love it.
and I made arrangements for my mom to come stay at the hotel or my mother-in-law to pick her up. She wasn't feeling well, so I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel okay leaving her with a sitter. So I
Hmm.
brought her with me, and I remember that's all I could only think about her. Like I had such mom guilt, and I had her with me. I was like guilty because I'm like, we should be at home. I'm over here all day at this conference and she's at my in-laws and she was crying. You don't feel good. They cry. So same thing, I feel like the way that I overcame that is. My support, I was honest with my mom about how I was feeling. I was like, I feel so
Mm,
guilty. I was upset. I was crying in the hotel room, like, I need to be at home with her. And my mom was like, Day, we got this, and do not worry about her. She is four. She doesn't understand what you're doing. Just send her pictures. I'll FaceTime you when you finish. Like, she tried to make me feel so good and gave me assurance. And I feel like that's what you need, because they don't understand.
mm.
They will cry, but they'll cry when you go to the grocery store. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Listen, that's
They're
the
at the
truth.
age
You right.
they're at the age where they just gonna have, separation anxiety. Don't let that be the sole reason why you don't do something. Try to be honest with whoever's around you to support you, because they'll help validate your feelings. They're never going to say anything
Hmm.
that's like off the wall, like your sister, your husband, your mom, whoever it is. Be honest with them. Find you another business bestie and call them, and they'll talk you through it. And if you are in the wrong, like if you traveling a lot, they'll also hopefully say, yeah, you need to sit down somewhere. Like they'll help kind of
Hmm.
level set that for you, so you don't walk around carrying that yourself, because that's hard. But yeah, it's a journey with these
It
kids.
is
I'm
a journey.
telling
And
you.
if I can say too, part of what it motivated me to do was to put more structure around my business and
Mm,
have those boundaries, because then I know right now I work 3 days a week for my business. So of course I work every day for my, but 3 days a week, and Sundays are untouchable. So in the
yeah.
beginning of my business, I was working whenever day. Like honestly, I was
Hmm.
just like, I'm going to work, work, work. And I was doing too much. So knowing like, okay, yes, she may cry on a Thursday, but if I know I'm going to be with her all day Sunday, it just gives me some solace too.
Nice.
And then I'll tell you, Tabitha Brown actually helped me, because we're talking about things that have inspired us too.
Auntie Tab,
She,
she needs to be on
Auntie
the show
Tab,
too.
she,
Tab, Tab.
listen,
Tell her, come on.
call her up, because she helped me with this too. And she has older kids than us, but she was
Hmm.
saying that part of my work as a mother too is to show my children what it looks like to live your dreams and to do the things
Mm,
like that's part of my work. That's part of the modeling. Then sometimes that
wow.
may be hard and there may be sacrifices. But if you're clear, you have a clear vision, and again, that those boundaries and that congruency, you're gonna do it. You're gonna be able to push through that and ultimately know that
Yeah.
you're reflecting that holistic image to your children.
Yeah.
So
That gave me
I
chills.
love
I
that.
love that. Part of the mom work is showing them to live your dreams. That is
That's part of
beautiful.
it.
That's a quotable moment right there. So Tab, thank you for that insight, because we
Hmm.
needed to hear that. Amen. All right. So now we're going to transition to my favorite part of the podcast, and that's the lightning round. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and the first thing that pops to your head, you can say it. There's no wrong answers. It's a safe space. You don't even have to explain it. You can just say it and let it be done. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Ooh. Faith driven, um, confident, and integritous.
You got some good words for us, y'all. What would you tell your 18-year-old self today?
Slow down. Just chill. Take a pause. Enjoy the journey. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be a modern mompreneur?
Hmm. Um, for me, very similar to you, it's showing up in all those different spaces unapologetically, and finding that harmony between them, knowing that there is no such thing as balance, but finding that harmony between them, um, and doing it with joy. So, yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. What do you love about being a mom?
So much. Of course, just having little people is just so cool that you, you and your person make. But
Yeah.
I love how much my kids teach me about me. I love they are some of my best teachers. I
Mm.
see the best and worst of myself in them. Um, and I've learned to apologize more with my kids. So I just my kids teach me so much. They
That's
do.
beautiful. All right. What do you think your kids think of you as a mompreneur?
Yeah. Well, I've asked my 9-year-old, almost 9-year-old. I can't really ask my daughter, but like I told you, my son thinks it's cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't, of course, he don't care about the organizing piece of it necessarily, but he thinks it's cool that have things to do and I travel and he thinks it's cool.
Yeah. For a 9-year-old, cool is pretty darn good. Okay.
I know. He entertains me
All
too
right.
when I'm showing him my projects. So I'm like, okay.
There you
But
go.
yeah,
There you go. Um, what are you reading, watching, and or listening to right now?
I am not a watcher at all. I don't watch any TV, but I love reading. So I
Mm-hmm.
just finished Set Boundaries, Have Peace. It's so good by Nidra Taneb. I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She's really active on Instagram and stuff too. So I'll definitely share
Okay.
that. Probably my best read of this year. And then I'm reading Rest is Resistance. I need books that slow me
Yes.
down. So
I recently got put on Rest is Resistance. I recently one of my mentors
hmm
had a shirt and I was like, what's that now? So
it's
Rest
so
is
good.
Resistance. And the first book, what was the name of it again?
Set boundaries, find peace.
Set Boundaries, Find Peace. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Highly
Okay. And then
recommend. Both are practical. Like you can move. You know what I mean?
practical.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Got to check those out. And then last question, what is bringing you joy in your downtime?
Travel. If I have time, I'm traveling. This year I got to go to Dubai and Ghana. I love international travel in particular. So
Love it.
basically I
Love
spent a
it.
month out of the country this year. So I loved it.
Was this a family trip?
No. So that's a whole nother look, that's a whole nother podcast. I left my kids both times.
Wow.
12
Oh my
days. I
goodness.
know.
Wow.
But
Good for
living
you.
organized, right? Living organized let me do that.
Right? Listen, get into this game. You get to take these amazing trips and make sure it works for your family. And
Yeah.
everybody's good. Mom came back fulfilled.
I did.
Everybody's
I'm
fine.
good. I'm
Everybody's
good.
good. Don't feel like you can't do these things. I'm talking to myself.
You can do it. You can do it.
I love that. I would love to hear more about that, but that's a conversation for another day.
Right? That's
Hopefully,
another
may
day.
have posted it somewhere so we can kind of live vicariously through you.
hmm
Well, thank you for indulging me in the lightning round. We got all in your business and learn a little bit more about you. Um, I want to thank you for the light you have brought on this podcast. You're just such a breath of fresh air. Oh my goodness,
Back at you, Day.
I appreciate
Truly.
that. And hearing your journey, your story about how you got started, how quickly you've done so much good work and serving others through organizing, helping them find peace, being a voice in certain areas and certain spaces, but most importantly, doing it while raising your kids and being present and being able to show them how they can live out their dreams. So I love that. Can you tell the community how they can follow you, connect with you, and just share your socials?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. The best place to find me is Instagram. So the Tailored
Love
Life,
it.
THEE. I just can't keep up with all of them. So that's that's where I'm most active. And then I do
That's
have
my jam.
you get okay. I'm like, you gotta focus. I gotta know myself. I also have a website, The Tailored Life. And so that's a really good way to stay in contact. I have a monthly newsletter as well. So those are the best
Okay.
ways, but I'm super active on Instagram. So DM me. I
Yes.
respond to everything. So
Makes it easy. The two E's, The Tailored Life. Follow her on
hmm
Instagram. Go to thetailoredlife.com to connect, get on her newsletter, find out all she has going on. And if you are in the Midwest,
yep.
Wisconsin,
hmm
Chicago, perhaps, hey, Dubai, call her up. Whoever,
Right?
wherever you're at, she can help.
Yes.
Yes, she can help you focus on your well-being through having an organized life, um, as she says, a form of self-care. So take time to do that. And again, want to thank you for being a part of the podcast. If you enjoy hearing Ashley's story, if you want to know how you can, if you have a friend or a fellow business owner who needs to be encouraged by this story, I invite you to share this podcast with them. Also, subscribe to the Modern Mompreneur podcast and follow Ashley on socials and connect with her so you can stay in touch with her. So thank you again, Ashley, for being an amazing guest.
Of course.
Love it,
Thank
love
you,
it.
Day.
Yes, yes. And all the mompreneurs and dadpreneurs out there, always remember to give yourself permission to live out your full dreams because you never know what's on the other side of that. So until next time, be blessed. And you guys, we will see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.